Welcome to BSBP EF 502, Develop and Use Emotional Intelligence. In this unit, you'll build practical skills that help you understand your own emotions, manage them professionally, read the emotions of others, and build positive working relationships. In early childhood education and care, that matters every day. You'll use emotional intelligence when you're supporting children, communicating with families, working as part of a team, and responding calmly in busy workplace situations. As you move through this unit, we'll focus on 4 key areas. Self-awareness means recognizing your own feelings, strengths, and triggers. Self-management is about staying professional and responding in constructive ways. Social awareness helps you notice how other people are feeling. Relationship management is about communicating well, working collaboratively, and helping create a respectful workplace culture. This is practical workplace learning designed to strengthen your professional practice in early childhood settings. This unit applies to people whose work involves analyzing information, making decisions, solving problems that don't always have a simple answer, and sometimes leading a team or a work area. For diploma learners in early childhood education and care, that's highly relevant. In practice, you might need to take in information from families, colleagues, observations, and service expectations, then decide how to respond professionally. You may also face unpredictable situations like a team member under pressure, a difficult conversation with a family, a change in children's needs during the day, or competing priorities across the service. Emotional intelligence helps you stay calm, think clearly, and communicate in ways that support both relationships and workplace outcomes. This means the unit isn't just about personal reflection. It's about how you work with children, families, colleagues, and the wider service environment in a thoughtful, professional, and team-focused way. Element 1 is prepare to develop emotional intelligence. The first step is to develop clear criteria for evaluating your own emotional strengths and weaknesses. That might include how well you stay calm under pressure, how you communicate during conflict, how open you are to feedback, and how well you recognize the impact of your behavior on others. Next, you assess yourself against those criteria honestly. This helps you see what you're already doing well and where you need to improve. You also identify and analyze emotional stresses in the workplace. In an early childhood service, those stresses could include time pressure, staffing issues, challenging conversations with families, behavior concerns, or tension within the team. From there, you identify suitable methods for responding to those stresses in a professional way. That could mean pausing before reacting, asking for support, using respectful communication, or following workplace procedures. Finally, you seek feedback from others to confirm whether your responses are effective. In practice, this matters because emotional intelligence starts with self-reflection, but it becomes stronger when your responses also support teamwork, relationships, and quality practice in the workplace. Element 2 is develop emotional intelligence. This means looking closely at the emotional responses of coworkers, analyzing what is happening in workplace interactions, and documenting what you notice so patterns and issues can be identified clearly. You also develop a plan for identifying and responding to a range of emotional expressions. In an early childhood setting, that could include recognizing frustration, stress, uncertainty, or enthusiasm in team members, and thinking about the most appropriate way to respond. Another part of this element is applying techniques that show flexibility and adaptability in workplace interactions. For example, you might adjust your communication style, stay calm when routines change, or respond differently depending on what a colleague needs in the moment. You also apply techniques that show consideration for other people's emotions when making decisions. That means not just focusing on the task, but also thinking about how your decisions affect colleagues, families, and the team environment. Finally, you consult with relevant stakeholders to identify areas where your own emotional intelligence can improve. This could involve feedback from a supervisor, team leader, mentor, or colleague. In collaborative early childhood workplaces, these skills help you strengthen communication, teamwork, and professional relationships. Element 3 is promote development of emotional intelligence in others. This means creating real workplace opportunities for people to express their thoughts and feelings in a safe, respectful, and professional way. In an early childhood service, that could happen during team meetings, reflective conversations, handovers, or supervision discussions. It also means developing tasks that help others understand how their behavior and emotions affect colleagues. For example, you might use reflection activities, team discussions, or workplace scenarios that encourage staff to think about how tone, reactions, and communication influence the team environment. These opportunities and tasks then need to be implemented in line with organizational policies and procedures. That is important because emotional intelligence should support professional practice, confidentiality, respectful communication, and the service's expectations for behavior. The foundation skills are built into this element as well. Learning is involved when people reflect and improve. Oral communication is essential when discussing feelings and giving feedback. Teamwork matters because emotional intelligence affects how people work together. Enterprise and initiative are shown when you create practical ways to build these skills in everyday workplace practice. For learners preparing for the workplace, this element is about helping create a more supportive, collaborative, and emotionally aware team culture.
Before you finish this unit, here's what the assessment will ask you to show in practice. You'll need to demonstrate emotional intelligence across at least 2 different work tasks and support emotional intelligence in others on at least 1 occasion. Performance evidence. The candidate must demonstrate the ability to complete the tasks outlined in the elements, performance criteria, and foundation skills of this unit, including evidence of the ability to demonstrate emotional intelligence in relation to at least 2 different work tasks. Promote development of emotion intelligence in others on at least 1 occasion. In the course of the above, the candidate must develop assessment criteria to assess personal emotional strengths and weaknesses. Conduct an analysis to identify personal emotional triggers, incorporating feedback from others, analyze and document interactions with coworkers, develop and implement plans for responding to emotional expressions, apply techniques that promote flexibility in interactions with others and show consideration for the emotions of others. Knowledge evidence. The candidate must be able to demonstrate knowledge to complete the tasks outlined in the elements, performance criteria, and foundation skills of this unit, including knowledge of application of emotional intelligence attributes, including self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship management, emotional intelligence principles and strategies, strategies for communicating with a diverse workforce that has varying expressions of emotion. Methods to develop emotional intelligence in others. Emotional intelligence in the context of building workplace relationships. Assessment conditions. Skills in this unit must be demonstrated in a workplace or simulated environment where the conditions are typical of those in a working environment in this industry. This includes access to challenges and situations to demonstrate the application of performance evidence.
Good luck and enjoy your learning. Reach out if you need any support at any time.